Is everybody able to see my screen? Everybody is able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay. Good evening to all the folks who are in India. Good morning to uh, folks who are attending from US. I don't think anybody from UK is attending. So I hope you guys are doing great. Thanks for making time. What were we discussing yesterday? What were we discussing yesterday? Swastika Jana, what were we discussing yesterday?
SQL commands.
SQL command. Okay,
SQL and the features of the SQL.
correct. Okay. So one of the very, very important thing what we started discussing is we did discuss about what is SQL. It is structured query language to retrieve the data, to update the data, to manage the data, right? And also we understood some of the very important aspects of the SQL, like it is case insensitive, and you can. What are the other things we discussed, Asina, in terms of SQL? Important aspects of the SQL.
Can be in one or more lines, cannot be abbreviated, place
Okay.
big lines,
Mm-hmm.
intends to enhance readability.
Yeah, multiple things we discussed, right? Okay. After that, after that, after discussing the after discussing about what is SQL and what are the important features of SQL, then what did we discuss? Danya Naik, what did we discuss? Danya.
Sir, we discussed about DDL commands.
Yes, okay. So we did discuss about types of SQL commands, types of SQL commands, right? That's what we discussed, okay. Within that, we understood there are different types of SQL commands. One is DDLJ, right? DDLJ, right? The second one is Kiran. One is DDLJ, right? Kiran. Sabita, is it DDLJ or DDL?
It's DDL, sir.
Oh, okay, it's DDL. Okay. Sorry, see, sometimes I forget. I go back to the movies. That is bad. Okay. But anyway, that was just to catch your attention. It is definitely DDL, that is data definition language, and data manipulation language, DCL, data control language, TCL, transaction control language, and also DQL, data query language. Okay. So within this, we definitely understood the all these four things. What is the data definition language? And as a part of that, we understood uh, how do you create the database, how do you create the table, and how do you alter the table. Okay, you can alter the table also, and how truncate is different from the drop. So, Sabita, how truncate is different from drop?
Sir, truncate will take out all the fields inside the table.
Mhm.
And in case of drop, the entire table is dropped.
Entire
It's
table is
deleted. Yeah.
entire table is
Table.
gone. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
in case of truncate, it will only remove the data from the table, but the table structure will be intact. In case of drop, the structure and also the data would be gone. That's what happens. Okay. Then what exactly is happening as a part of the alter? Aruna Samantha, what is
Uh,
happening as, yeah?
so using alter, we can rename the table.
Mhm.
Also, we can add some columns, modify
Yes.
some modify columns.
Yes. Okay. We can rename the column. We can modify some. We can add columns. All those things can be done as a part of the alter. Okay. Now that we understood the data definition language, let us understand the DML, which is also important. Okay. So let us understand the DML. Okay. Are you guys ready for that? Is everybody ready for that? shall I get started with the DML? Okay, everybody is saying yes, 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 yes. Okay, when I say DML, that includes data manipulation language. Okay, it is data manipulation language. We have already touched upon what is manipulation in one of our earlier classes. Okay, so if you guys remember, Swastika, does Arunava manipulate you at any point of time?
No, sir.
No, he's a very good dada, right? So, like when I say manipulate, literal meaning of the manipulation is taking advantage of somebody and kind of making it is used in a wrong connotations in the generic sense, isn't it, Savita? Right, Hasina? So, hey, he is manipulating you. Don't hear to him like that. That is what they'll say, right? Okay. But when I say manipulation in case of databases, we are saying change. Okay. As a part of the SQL, when I say DML, that is manipulation, that is data manipulation, we are talking about the change. Okay. So DML statements are the SQL statements that manipulate the data. And we do have, when I say manipulation, we are talking about the changing the data. Okay. Changing the table. Okay. In case of DML, we have insert, we have update, and we have delete. Okay. Kiran, have you already inserted the data into the table? Have you already seen how to insert the data into the table? Yes, Kiran is saying yes. Okay. So insert command is used to insert the data into the table. We have already seen this. Okay. So when doing that, we can either insert only one record or we can insert multiple records. We can do both of that. Right? Now, the the next one is, whenever we have created the table, so Hasina, do you think always the data in the table is going to remain permanent in the table?
No, we can change it.
No, actually, let us say we have created a table, right? And within the table, we have inserted the data. Do you think the data is always permanent? Jayant?
It will change, sir.
It will change. Okay. The data is going to change. Okay. So when the data is going to change, obviously we have to make the necessary updates, right? That is where update command comes into picture. Okay. Update, we are either updating as a part of the update command, either we are updating or modifying the existing data in the tables of a database. Okay. In the tables of a database. Okay. So for example, the way we do it is, so we say update, provide the table name, and we'll say set and what should be the column name, and also we can give the where condition. Okay, let us observe this table here. Okay, so this is a table. Okay, so how many columns are there in this table? Danya Nayak, how many columns are there in this table?
Sir, 5 columns are there in
5
this
columns,
table.
sir. And how many records are there here? Subbu, how many records are there here?
5.
5 records there. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so observe the record which I am highlighting here. Okay, so there is some person called Raman whose age is 21, branch is ECA, city is Delhi. What is happening is Aishwarya is not liking Raman. Since Raman is not there in the class, I am okay. Aishwarya is liking somebody called Ramanashri. Okay. So what I will do is I want to update the Raman as a Ramanashri. Okay. The way I'm doing it is update the students table and set the name as a Ramanashri and city as a Bangalore. But how do you identify what you have to update? By using a roll number. In this case, roll number is the primary key. Okay, this is how we can update. Easy peasy, right? Very easy. Okay. And then sometimes we may have to delete the records from the table. In that case, we use the delete command. Very, very simple. What we'll do is we'll say delete from that particular table and provide the where condition. Otherwise, it may end up deleting some of the other rows also. Okay. So the way I'm deleting, see now what is happening is our Subbu is not liking Pawan. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll just remove Pawan from this. Okay. There is no like buddy called Pawan in the class head. There is nobody. Okay. Got you. Okay. So look at these DML commands as a part of our hands-on. Okay. So as everybody install the SQL Server, are you guys practicing? If you are not, please do that. Okay. So I'm logging into the SQL Server. Good, Asina. Yes, Swastika. Good. You're practicing. Good. Okay. I'm kind of opening a new query. Okay. And I will go ahead and create a database. Okay, university. And I already have shown you, once I have created the database, I have to use that to get into that database. Please remember in which database you are working. Okay, so I'm here. Okay, then let me create a table. Let me create a table called students. Okay, I created the table, and we already know. See, this table, the table name is students, and we do have different columns like roll number, name, age, branch, and city. Okay, these are the. Now, I will go ahead and insert some data into this. Okay, so let me check what are the different data into this. Okay. Okay, this is the data we have. Okay, we have 4 records with 5 columns: roll number, name, age, branch, and city. These are the different columns what we have. So now, if I want to update Raman as Ramanashri, what we have to do is very simple. I will say update. The command is update, is SQL command. Okay, and what are in which table I am updating? In students table. And what I want to update, I want to set the name here. See, it is Raman is there here. Are you guys able to see this? Raman, right? So Raman is there here. I want to update Raman with the name Ramanashri, and I want to update the city of that person also as a Bangalore. Okay. How do I identify that particular record? By using a roll number. Where the roll number is 10,002, in that case, please update the name as Ramanashri and city as Bangalore. Very easy, right? Nothing great about it. Okay. So let me go ahead and update this. Okay. Okay. Now, if you go ahead and select the this one, you can see. Are you guys able to see the changes here? Aishwarya, Kiran, are you guys able to see these changes? Yes, right? Okay, awesome then. Now that we understood this one, we can also delete. We can also delete. We can also delete. I'm going to see Pawan is there here. Pawan is already there, right? Can see Pawan is there, right? All of you. Can you see Pawan here, guys? Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to delete the Pawan. Can see one row affected. If that Pawan is gone. So these are the important DML commands. These are the important DML commands. Okay. Wonderful, right? Very easy peasy. Okay. At least at a basic level, it is very easy. Okay. So now that we understood the DML commands. So there are two other the data query language anyway is more of a querying that is more or less we are already implicitly we are doing it. So we have DCL and TCL. We do have a videos of that. Please do watch them. Please do watch them. Okay. Okay. Let us move to the next one. Let us move to the next one. Okay. One of the very, very important aspects. Okay. One of the very, very important aspects is what are the different ways of inserting the data into tables. Okay. If I ask you a question, Swastika, how did we insert the data into the tables?
Insert from table name.
Mm-hmm.
Insert into values. Insert into table name and then
Mm-hmm.
values, then the whole data.
Correct. Okay. That is the way insert. Okay. So what happens is now when we create the database, after creating the database, what we'll do is we'll create the table. Okay. Into the table, we have already inserted the data the way just Swastika mentioned. Okay. The question is, are we going to insert the data in the same way? Is it the only, whatever the way we have seen so far, is that the only way to insert the data, or there are any other ways? That is a question. What do you think, Aishwarya? What are the, is that the only way, or there are different ways? Aishwarya, what do you think? Hajira or Habibi? I'm sorry. You can rename please.
Bibi Hajira, sir.
Bibi Hajira is also fine. If I call you Hajira, that should be fine, right? Okay. Yeah, Hajira. What do you think? Are there any
Sir.
other ways?
Yeah, sir, but I don't know, sir.
You don't know. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. Okay. What I want is the conversation. See, like the idea of me asking you this question is to generate the interest. Otherwise, it will be very monotonous, right? Isn't it? I mean, it is not necessary that all of you who are attending should know everything, right? That's okay.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. Okay. So Hajira said, yes, there may be cases, but she doesn't know. Let me tell you that. Okay. There are different ways of inserting the data. One way is standalone way. Okay. The second one is files. Third one is through other tables. Okay. Now let us look at them one by one. So if when I ask this question, what is the when I say standalone, what exactly is the standalone way? So one of the guy in one of my, I mean, it was fun. Okay, see, we usually have lot of fun as a part of our training and okay, right? Especially when you are in person. Okay, one of the guy said, "Okay, sir, what is happening is when you insert the data while standing instead of sitting, that is standalone way of inserting the data." Okay, that is what he was saying. Is it true? Is it true? Arunava, is it true? Standalone is like, okay, no, not at all, not at all. Okay, so then what is this standalone way of inserting the data? Anybody in the class? Okay, okay, specific way. Okay, so when I say standalone, the way we did insert the data into the table, that is a standalone way, either on a terminal or any other interface. Literally, what we are saying is insert the data into the tables. Insert the data into the table. Okay. So in standalone way, we can insert the data in two ways. You can insert the data by providing the column names and also the values. You can insert the data by only the values. Okay. These are the two ways of inserting the data. Okay. Now instead of looking at the theory, let us directly jump into the hands-on. Okay. So let me okay. So who likes dancing in this group? Anybody loves dancing? Anybody loves dancing, guys? Nobody loves dancing in the group? Okay. Only Arun Maharana. Nobody, no one else likes dancing? Okay, no problem. Okay. So I'm going to create a table called dancers. Okay. See, I'm creating a table called dancers. And in the dancers, how many columns are there? Hajira, how many columns are there in the dancers table? How many columns are there, Hajira?
5, sir.
5, yes, okay. So 5 columns, num, name, age, salary, and country. Let me go and create this table. Okay. So, okay. So, if you want to know the structure or schema of this table, you can execute a command called exes sp_help dancers. It will give you all the details of this particular table. You can see this particular table name is dancers. Owner is DBO. User table. Okay, created date and time. And also the column names, num, name. What are the data types of this column? Is it computated? What is the length of this column? All these values are provided. Okay. What is the primary key? Okay. All those things will be provided. Okay. Now we understood this. Okay. We understood there are 5 columns. And as I said, there are 2 ways of inserting the data. One is where you are providing the column names and also values. Okay, and only providing the values. Let us experience both of them. Okay. So what I will do is I will insert couple of rows by providing both the column names and also the values. See here, observe here. I'm saying insert into dancers. Dancers. Dancers is a name of the table. Okay. And I am mentioning the columns of this particular table like num, name, age, salary, and country. Okay. And I'm saying values. So then I am providing the values. So 3 is num, Madonna is age, 63 is 60 is age, salary is 60,000, country is USA. Okay. So let me go and insert this. Okay. You can see the values are inserted. Let us look at these values. Okay. Okay. The values are inserted, right? The values are inserted. So one way is provide the column name and also the value. Another way is only provide the values. That also works. That also works. That also works. Okay. So in this case, you can see I have not mentioned the column names. I have not mentioned the column names. Okay. Insert. Okay. You see here, Ritiki also will be there. Good. These are the, what is the, what are we discussing now, Hasina? What are we discussing? What are we discussing quickly, Hasina? Okay. Anyone? Anyone in the group? What are we discussing?
Different
Defined
ways
OR.
of inserting data.
Yes, different ways of inserting the data into the table. Within that, first way is standalone way. Standalone way. Okay. The next one is, what is the next way of inserting the data into the table?
Files, sir.
Through files. That is very important. Okay. So next way is from the file. If I ask you a question, in the production, in the project, will you insert the data one by one into the table? Will you insert the data one by one into the table? Not really. Most of the times, you guys insert the data into the table in a database by using the from a files. It can be CSV files, it can be any other file. Most of the times. That is the reason this way is very, very important. You should know this way of inserting the data into the table. Okay. So while inserting the data into the table from a file, is it happening in the same way as we did in a standalone, or there is a difference? कहानी में जरा twist है. Is it like that, or what is happening here? Sabita, what do you think, Sabita?
Sir, I'm not sure, sir. I don't.
Okay. But the
Maybe
way
we are inserting a lot of information at
Yeah.
one time, like that.
Yeah, that is anyway there. That is anyway there. Okay. But is it going to be the same the way we did in the standalone, or it's a different?
It should be different.
It should be different. That is the reason we are discussing that as a different way, right? Okay. It is the intuition. Okay. So कहानी में थोड़ा twist है. Okay. So now when you want to insert the data into a table from a file, you cannot just blindly go ahead and do it. Okay. Yes, Asina is saying file location. Okay. So there are some different things. First and foremost thing is, whenever you want to insert the data into a table from a file, open that file. Please pay attention here. Open that file. Why do we need to open that file? Because without looking at the file, how do you know what are the columns to be created? So far, Jayant, we have inserted the data into a table, right? So far we have done it. Jayant, question for you, Jayant. Now tell me, Jayant, at any point of time, did we insert the data into the table without creating the table? Jayant? Anybody in the group? Shashanka? Did we insert the data into a table without creating the table? Are you guys able to understand my question? Shashanka, Subbu? No. So in order to insert the data into the table, we need to create the table. In order to create the table, you should know what are the columns in the table, right? Isn't it, Jayant? Isn't it, Asina? So in order to create the columns, if you were to insert the data from a file into the table, you have to open the file first. Open the file. Then you have to scan the fields. Scan the fields. What are the different fields? Then you have to identify the data types. Oh, what are the data types in this? Okay. Then you have to create the table according to this data types. According to this data type. Okay. Then you have to load the data. You got it, Sabita? There is a difference, right? Arunava, Arun Maharaj, Arun Maharana, right? Asina. There is a
Yes, sir.
difference. You can just blindly start inserting the data into the table. Okay. So you need to think through properly. You need to think through properly. Okay. Open the file, scan the fields, identify the data types, accordingly create the table, then load the data. As Asina said, while loading the data also, you need to be careful. It is bit different. It is bit different. Okay. So let us do this in a hands-on. Let us do this in a hands-on. Okay. Are you guys ready for this? To do this in a hands-on? Okay. So let me see where are my files. Okay. Let me go to the file first. I have to open the file, right? I have to open the file. Okay. So I am using something called dancers window. Okay. Okay. I am using a file called dance. First thing is I have to open a file. Okay. Okay. This is a okay. First thing is what kind of a file it is? It is saying it is actually I had downloaded as a CSV. It is a CSV file. Okay. It says this one, but it is a CSV file. Okay. You can see comma separated values file. It is a CSV file. Okay. Now I think let us open it as a okay. This is how your file should look like. Okay. After opening the files, what should I do next? What should I do next? Swastika, what should I do? Scan the field. How many fields are there here, Swastika? How many fields are there here? Kiran, how many
5.
fields are there? Yeah, there are 5 fields. First, we have to scan the fields. Okay. So see, this looks so silly, but you have to do this. You have to do this. Okay. So otherwise, whatever you are planning to do will not be done properly. Okay. I scan the fields, and also after scanning the fields, I'll okay, okay, maybe this is a number. The data type I'll be using is a int. Or name, name is a, it can be varchar. Age is a, again, the int. Salary can be decimal. Okay, country can be char. Like that, to go through the fields and decide the what data type each column should be. Okay. Accordingly, go ahead and create the table. Accordingly, go ahead and create the table. Okay. So now that we understood, I will go ahead and create a table. I'll go ahead and create a table called dancers 3. Okay, dancers 3. Okay. So now that I understood the what are the different, okay. So I'm saying num int, name character, age int, salary, and all those things. Okay. I'm going to create the table. Okay. Do we have the data in the table? Do we have the data in the table?
No, sir.
No, we don't have the data in the table. Okay. So we are going to insert the data insert the data into this table from a file. From a file. Remember that, from a file. Okay. So let us look at the way I'm doing it. Okay. One of the syntax in the SQL server is this. Okay. I am going to say bulk insert into dancers 3. What is dancers 3 here? Tanya Naik, what is dancers 3 here?
Sir, it's a new table.
Table name. It is a table name. It's a new table. Okay. And as Asina said earlier, I'm saying from a file, I'm going to provide the path of the file. This is the path. Okay. Where your file is there. Okay. Path of the file. Along with the file name also. Okay. Then I'll say with. There are different options. Okay. Some of the relevant options here is, first thing is, first row is equal to 2. Any idea what is this? Any idea what is this? Arunava, what is this first row is equal to 2? What is it?
Don't know, sir.
Anyone? Anyone? Who knows?
Only two column or rows to be.
Actually, first row 2 means start loading the data from the first. For example, here, what is the first row? What is the first row
Table
here?
names,
No,
column names.
column names. Column is already created, right? Do we want to load these names into the table? No. I don't know, you got it, right?
Yes,
So
sir, got it.
load the data from the second row from the file, because I'm referring to the file. That is what it means. Okay. And field terminator, because if you see here, comma, that is the reason you are giving comma here. Okay. Comma here, because if it's a dollar here, you have to provide the dollar. So in CSV file, sometimes you have a dollar, you have a comma, you have a hash. So multiple separators will be there. So that is the reason this is also very important. Okay. And then the next one is row terminator. Basically, how the row is terminated here with the new line character. With the new line. Usually there'll be new line character in each of the files. Okay. By understanding all these things, you have to provide those options. Shall I go ahead and execute this command now? Shall I, Subbu?
Yes.
Shall I do this?
Yes.
Okay, let me execute this. Because what is happening? Another process. Okay, okay. So maybe I'll close this. Okay. Okay, because we opened that file, right? That is giving a this one. Okay, let us fix that. Let us quickly fix that. What we'll do is we will go to that. Okay. Okay, hopefully it should work. Let us see, otherwise we'll fix it again. No need to worry. Okay, so I renamed this as a window 1. What I'll do is I'll come back here. I'll say, okay. Okay, now it got inserted. Okay, so what did we see? We followed a very different process for inserting the data from a file. Okay, let's go and see whether the data is there here or not. What is the name of the table? Dancers 3. Okay, we have a data here. Did I insert the data in a
Yes, sir.
standalone mode? Asina? In what mode did I insert the data into the Dancers 3? Danya, Asina, anybody? Hajira.
File.
From a
File.
file. Okay. From a file, I insert the data into the. Okay, that's a thing. So we learned how do you insert the data from a file into the table. Okay, that's a thing. Now the last one is how do you insert the data into the file, into the table from another table. Okay, from another table. Okay. So what happens is sometimes when you read the data, read a file and create a table. Okay. When you do that, you would be having some hundreds of columns in the file, and you create a table. Now you may encounter a situation where you may have to create one more table from the same file, but you need to choose only 20 columns. Okay. Then you have two ways of doing it. You already created a table called table 1 from reading a file. Either you create a table by reading the columns from this table, or you choose the 20 columns from this 100 columns and create a table. Which one will you prefer? Swastika Jana, which one will you prefer? Choosing the columns from a file and creating a table, or creating a table from one more table. Which one will you choose, Swastika Jana, based on your intuition?
Table 1.
Why do you say so? Why
I
is that?
don't know, but I assume that.
No, very good. Your intuition is working really well. Okay. So it is always better. Let us say you have already created a table from a file. It is always better to create a table from one more table, choosing the columns which you want. That is much more easier, efficient than creating a table from choosing the. See, it is very cumbersome. It is not easy to choose the columns from 100 columns in a file. You have to write a Python code or something like that. Okay, it is difficult. So this will be the easiest way. Okay. So what you can do is, you can, let us say, like, you can say insert into the target table. Okay, or rather let me choose. Okay, now in this case, what I want to do is, we have a table called dancers. Okay, from this table, I want to choose only those records where salary is greater than 50,000. And I'm creating one more table called dancers 4. Okay, but remember, before you create that, you would have created the. Okay, so now, okay, you would have created the table. You would have created the schema structure, would have already created. Okay, This is how you can do it. You are able to get it, right? So you are choosing only these things. You are choosing only the ones which are satisfying this condition. This is one way, okay? And also you can choose only the few columns which you want. For example, like from this table, I'm choosing only these columns. These columns. Okay, these columns I'm choosing. Okay, this is one more way of inserting the data into the table. Okay, let us look at that in action. Okay, so what I'll do is I will go ahead and create a table called dancers 4. Okay, dancers 4. Okay, is it okay if I take some 5 minutes extra today? Is it okay? Because I want to demonstrate this to you guys. Is it okay? Say yes if you are okay. Okay. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me execute this. Another 5 minutes. Okay, so I created a table called dancers 4. So instead of either inserting the data into this table through a standalone way or from a file, I will insert the data into this from a dancers 3 table. Okay, so the way I do it is see, do we have a data in this table now? Let me execute. Sometimes we never know, right? Okay, there is no data here. Okay, now I will insert the data from, see, I'm saying, see, look at the way I'm doing it. Okay, insert into dancers 4, that is a new table. Select everything from the dancers 3 where salary should be greater than or equal to $50,000. I'm putting a condition. Only those records which satisfy this condition are inserted into the table. Okay. Now, if we go ahead and say this, okay, you guys got it? Any questions here from anyone? Any questions, anyone? Yeah, Kiran, nice, right? It is nice, right? Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Let's just before you guys leave, only 1 minute.